Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Cluiche with me, Seamus, Brady, your host, and in this video I'm going to give a run through and predictions of the Camogie Quarter Finals, which will be taking place this weekend, including the relegation playoff between Down and Wexford. So we got two Camogie fixtures in the quarter finals happening this weekend, one on the Saturday, one on the Sunday, and the relegation playoff will take place on the Saturday. They are going to be played in Croke Park, along with the All-Ireland hurling semi-finals on the men's side. So, starting with the game that's on Saturday, this game takes place at 3:30 in Croke Park between Antrim and Tipperary. Now, I'm going to go through it team by team and then pick who I think is going to win this game. So, starting off with Antrim, this year, they've had a pretty good year. Of course, junior champions last year, Dervla Cosgrove scoring 4 goals in Croke Park, 3 goals, I think it was like 9 minutes or something, some crazy quick hat-trick that she got. Now, coming into this year, Antrim have carried that momentum in and carried that confidence in. They beat Limerick by 115 to 14 points at home. They beat Offaly by 316 to 112 at home. And that guaranteed them passage into the quarterfinals. However, they then got obliterated by Waterford, 516 to 10 points away from home. Now, how much will that have on their psyche? You look at some of their forwards, they have some outstanding players. Roisin McCormack, Dervla Cosgrove, as I mentioned, 4 goals in the final last year. She is crucial to this team, but then you look on the other side. Let's look over at Tipperary. Tipperary and Waterford, they're the two teams that me and Matthew completely put as our favourites to break into the triangle at the top of Camogie of Cork, Kilkenny, Galway. We picked Waterford and Tip as being the teams that are the most likely to break into that top 3. And so far this year, Tipperary have backed up why we have had those thoughts. You look at how they started. They swept Dublin away 219 to 1-6 at home. They then beat Wexford 315 to 12 points away from home. And that was a Wexford side that had drawn with Kilkenny in the match before. And then they went down to Nolan Park to face Kilkenny, the All-Ireland champions, and they drew with them 2-8 to 111. And they really should have won that game. They were 3 points up heading into the final few minutes. They'd held Kilkenny scoreless for 17 minutes and then they threw the game away. Their players to watch: Emer McGrath and Casey Hennessy in attack. Mairead Everston in defence is a fantastic marker. She completely did a great job on Denise Gall in the Kilkenny match. Look, I think it's fairly obvious who I'm going to go for here. I'm going to go for a Tipperary victory. Me and Matthew, the Gaelic Statsman, big shout out to him, chose Tip and Waterford as being our two teams that we felt were the most likely to challenge the status quo of Kilkenny, Cork and Galway being at the top of Camogie for so long. And I think Tipperary are going to win this game and head into the semi-finals. Now, moving on to the other quarter-final here. It is a box office clash between the All-Ireland Camogie champions Kilkenny, who face off with Cork in Croke Park on Sunday at 1:30. What a game this is going to be. Cork don't have an All-Ireland since 2018, and you can tell they are absolutely desperate to change that fact. This year, they started off poorly. They lost to Galway by 112 to 12 points, but then they responded magnificently, beating Down by 319 to 110 and then beating Clare away by 319 to 8 points. And that was in Cusack Park in Ennis. Players to watch out for in Cork include Libby Coppinger, Amy O'Connor, Fiona Keating, Hannah Looney. They just have some cracking players. Orla Cahalane is another one that I'm a big fan of. Of course, they've had the dual players dilemma. Of course, you got Orla Cahalane, you got Libby Coppinger, Hannah Looney, that are all playing for the footballers as well as the Camogie players. Whereas this weekend, there is no football. They have them all to themselves. That could be a crucial fact going into this game. Looking over to the All-Ireland champions, Kilkenny, they started off with a draw at home against Wexford, 117 to 311. Then they beat Dublin away from home quite comfortably by 314 to 11 points. Then they drew at home to Tipperary by 2-8 to 111. As I said, they were lucky to get a draw in that game, in my opinion. Look, they did fight back, but Tipperary, in my opinion, should have put them away. The pressure of being All-Ireland champions, that's another thing I want to look at. They didn't retain their title in 2021. Can they retain it in 2023? In my opinion, no. I'm going to say Cork are going to win this game. I just have a sneaky feeling that Cork are coming with a cracking team. And now that they have the likes of Hannah Looney, Libby Coppinger, not worrying about playing the game of football, in 24 hours or something crazy like that. I'm just going to go for a narrow Cork victory. I just feel like Cork can get this victory. Their attack looks so smooth against Clare and against Down. I know that they had the hiccup against Galway in the first round. Kilkenny, as I said, were looked very lucky to not lose to Tipperary. Look, they still have cracking players. Miriam Walsh, Janice Gall, Katie Nolan. Those players can just catch fire at any moment and really, really hurt Cork. But I am just going to go for a Cork victory. I think Matthew Toomey has them set up pretty well. I'm going to go with them to narrowly get the victory over Kilkenny and head into the All-Ireland Camogie semi-finals, which would be mental because it would mean then that the All-Ireland champions are out at the quarter-final stage. So I'm going for a result that would definitely shake up the championship. Now, moving back to Saturday, and this is the relegation playoff between Down and Wexford in Leitrim Fontenoys. Now, what do I think is going to happen in this game? Down's results so far this year, they've lost 3 games out of 3. The first one was to Clare away from home, 119 to 211. That was at home, sorry. Then away from home, they got blown away by Cork, 319 to 110. And at home, then Galway blew them away, 118 to 10 points. Wexford, on the other hand, they drew with the All-Ireland champions Kilkenny, 117 to 311. That was away from home. But then they suffered back-to-back defeats to Tipperary at home by 315 to 12 points and Dublin away by 16 points to 110. Now, if you haven't guessed the hint, the fact that I said that they drew with the All-Ireland Camogie champions is enough for me that they're going to win this game. They've shown me enough in their team that they can compete with the best. And I am going to go for Wexford to win this game. Down have looked out of their depth in some of their games, particularly the Cork one, where they lost 319 to 110. So I'm going to go with Wexford to win this game and stay up in Senior Camogie for another season. But that is my preview of the 3 Camogie fixtures, which are going to be over the weekend. So I've gone with Cork to beat Kilkenny, which is definitely a tricky one. I've gone with Tipperary to beat Antrim, and I've gone with Wexford to beat Down and avoid relegation. Let me know what you think, who's going to win all these games. And until the next video here on Cluiche, guys, take care.